Welcome to Fox 54 News at 6. I'm Kenesha Dees, and yes, it's a Fox 54 weather impact alert day. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at the sky from earlier today? Yes, very cloudy. We could see some cloud cover and, of course, some precipitation. We saw that rain. That's what it's all about tonight. The Fox 54 weather impact team has been keeping their eyes on the sky. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Jordan, what's on your radar now?
Well, many of us are dry for the time being. That's going to change in the rather immediate future. Over the next 1 or 2 hours, we're going to begin to see more rain overcome all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. The only folks that are not dry, and they haven't been dry since the middle part of this morning, are our friends over in Northeast Alabama. Portions of Jackson County still talking about a little bit of rain. We're talking about some more moderate precipitation across DeKalb and Marshall counties, Fort Payne down into Albertville. Those folks still talking about some moderate to at times heavier precipitation. And a lot of this rain is kind of building from the southwest to the northeast. The bands of heaviest precipitation have kind of established themselves back across Northeast Alabama. So through the course of the day, they have seen more rain than everybody else. And there is more on the way back across central and south Mississippi, back into much of the state of Louisiana. There is still more rain. And all of this rain is going to track to the northeast as we head into the overnight, as is this area of low pressure. This area of low pressure is kind of going to be the guide as we head into the later part of the evening and then through the overnight. That area of low pressure has a cold front associated with it, and that cold front is going to bring us right back to reality as we head into the back half of the weekend and early next week. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes.
Yes, and with the rain, the city of Huntsville is sharing tips for how to keep your roads clear and your drains from getting clogged. The Huntsville Public Works Director, Chris McNeese, says to pull your garbage bins from the curb so those won't block any water from moving freely. He also recommends removing any debris from the curbs and gutter to prevent storm water from getting in the roadways.
Usually if you leave your empty cart out by the street, the wind sometimes will blow those over, block it in the curb and gutter, or may blow it down the street so that it blocks an inlet. So that would prevent any water standing in the street being blocked by that cart. Dirt, rock, bags of leaves, that sort of thing, which would block the conveyance of stormwater, causing standing water in the roads. So if you could relocate those behind the curb and gutter, that'd be helpful for the water to make its way to the inlets.
McNeese says you can also check your local ordinances for storm preparation guidelines. And in Jackson County, rain is continuing to soak the region with more on the way. The sheriff's office says concerns are being raised regarding potential flooding. Sheriff Rocky Harnan warns response times may be slower overnight as water collects on roads and visibility drops. For now, only minor puddling you see there is reported with rain expected through the night.
We've got some low-lying areas that will certainly flood. It depends on the amount of rain as to whether it gets into houses and things such as that. But there'll be some roads that'll be impassable, I'm sure. I would suggest if you don't need to be out, if it's not an emergency, stay home. I mean, it's kind of like in a snowstorm. You know, people want to get out and see what things look like. But it causes problems for law enforcement and EMS and fire departments because they have to respond to those accidents.
Sheriff Harnan reminds you to use extra caution, especially after dark, and avoid driving through flooded roadways. The city of Ardmore has experienced some flooding problems of its own, closing main roads and redirecting travel for hundreds of people. It's not that bad yet, but residents tell Fox 54 it could get worse in a matter of hours. Fox 54's Caleb Aguayo joins us live at the state line, where some water has already risen from last night and just may keep going. Caleb, what's it like out there right now?
Yeah, Kenesha, there's some water on the sides of the road here, and the creeks are running high. The water hasn't yet gone over the edge of the roadways, but residents here tell me when it rains, it pours, and the floodwaters can rise quickly.
In fact, it's gotten so bad here in the past that floods have totally submerged cars under the Main Street underpass, requiring rescue teams and swift water recoveries.
Property can be replaced, of course, but, you know, a vehicle's a big deal, losing a vehicle. And then if, God forbid, if you've got your kids or your animals in the car with you, I mean, you don't want to lose any of that. So it's just very dangerous. It's a lot better just to go another route if you have to.
That's the main piece of advice from Ardmore Police Chief Jeremy Robison, who tells Fox 54 that main roads and interstates are often safer than county roads.
Try to stay on main roads. Don't try to take back roads and stuff like that, because that's where you get in a lot of trouble. Those roads wash away easier. They're not as well maintained as the normal roads. So I'd just say that, and if you see water across the road, don't go through it.
The Limestone County Emergency Management Agency is also watching the weather. They say no county roads are closed yet, but it might get worse as the night wears on.
We monitor everything, and if we get notified of floodwaters, then we'll try to put the barricades up, that type thing.
If the waters keep rising, Ardmore Police will be working with the county EMA to get roads blocked off and respond to any emergencies.
That water gets pretty deep up there, and Ardmore's, they're real good about putting police vehicles to alert people not to drive through it.
Yeah, Caleb, law enforcement and officials can't emphasize enough that folks need to take heed because flooding does get bad out there.
Yeah, that's very true. I was told, and I was even sent pictures of cars that were totally submerged earlier today. That's that main underpass over in Ardmore on Main Street. I'm now at the secondary kind of, I guess, underpass where trains pass overhead, and it does flood here, but particularly on that main street, it really gets cars, almost completely submerged.
Yes, best to be safe than sorry. I heard that it may get worse. So the advice is to potentially just stay home.
Absolutely. I was talking with Mr. Gilbert, the EMA director over here in Limestone County, and he was telling me the best advice is to stay home. But if you do have to go out, he said, if you do have to go out, be sure and avoid any kind of puddles because you don't know how deep they are. They could completely submerge your car. They could, tank your engine, or they could just be a little puddle 2-3 inches deep. You never know.
You never know. Thank you so much, Caleb. Turn around, don't drown. Thank you so much. Be safe out there. And with no end in sight to this rain, we have some safety tips. If you need to hit the road, we recommend slowing down, turning on your headlights, and increasing following distance to avoid hydroplaning. If conditions become dangerous, pull over safely until it passes. Stay weather aware and give yourself extra time if you have to travel. And if you want more weather impact coverage, along with 24/7 radar, check out our live stream on Fox 54 Plus right here. That's what you're on, and download on your TV, watch for free. The Huntsville Police Department and the Madison County Sheriff's Office teamed up with the FBI to catch 4 robbery suspects connected to 2 crimes. The investigation began on November 2nd when HPD investigated a home invasion on the 3000 block of Davenport Drive when a man entered the home with a gun and stole several items. Then on November 30th, the Sheriff's Office investigated an attempted car theft involving the same victim, they say. Investigators put both crimes together and arrested Marissa Morris, Matthew Childers, Alexis Henderson, and Vincent Henderson. All face robbery, among other charges. We've learned a man is accused of biting an ICE agent during a traffic stop in DeKalb County, authorities say. According to court documents, ICE agents in the DeKalb County Sheriff's Office performed a traffic stop on December 13th. Authorities say the passenger, Antonio Juan, began refusing orders. While attempting to restrain him, Juan allegedly bit one of the ICE agents and was arrested. The driver, Diego Juan, ran away from authorities. Antonio is charged with assaulting a federal officer. He faces a maximum of 8 years in federal prison. A Decatur man accused of shooting someone has turned himself into authorities. The Decatur Police Department says they responded to a shooting near the intersection of 8th Street and Danville Road last Saturday, where they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound. Police identified Jarvis Hayes, pictured here, as the suspect and issued a warrant for his arrest. Hayes turned himself in to authorities yesterday. He's charged with assault among other charges and held in the Morgan County Jail on a $260,000 bond. A domestic dispute in Huntsville, we've learned, turned violent, leading to a shooting last night. The Huntsville Police Department says they were called to the 4500 block of Baywood Drive around 9:30. Officers determined no criminal offenses occurred and allowed the one person to leave the home to de-escalate the situation. Shortly after, officers heard gunshots coming from the back of the home. However, officers didn't see who fired the gunshots. HPD says that there were no injuries and no arrests were made. A Guntersville businessman officially took his seat on the Tennessee Valley Authority Board of Directors. Randall Jones was sworn into office today in a ceremony at Guntersville Dam. It comes just a few weeks after he was confirmed by the U.S. Senate in a 53-47 vote, along with 3 other TVA board nominees. The confirmations came after President Trump removed several Biden appointees, leaving the board without enough members to hold votes. The board now has enough members to resume voting on issues affecting the federally owned utility that provides power to 7 southeastern states, including Alabama. NASA will begin demolishing historic testing facilities at Marshall Space Flight Center tomorrow. NASA plans to remove 25 outdated structures, including the dynamic test stand and the propulsion and structural test facility. This is part of new Administrator Jared Isaacman's plan to spearhead a major infrastructure modernization initiative, which is funded through the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Infant mortality rates in Tennessee still higher than the national average, but they are improving. According to the state's Department of Health, Tennessee has an infant mortality rate of 6.5 deaths per 1,000 live births, 16% higher than the national average. Infant deaths are largely a result of medical conditions and unsafe sleeping practices. The state says you can lower the risk of infant mortality by ensuring your child sleeps on their back, not smoking, and removing anything that can cause strangulation while your baby sleeps, including blankets.
The job market may be cooling, but it is by no means collapsing.
We've got the latest numbers on the job market, who's actively hiring, and how AI is factored in. And tonight, we've got a look ahead of a sheriff honored for guarding the lives of 9 boys who would change the course of history. We take you to Scottsboro. As we progress well into the new year, we're learning the latest jobs report from the U.S. Department of Labor shows sluggish hiring last month, but will that continue? Fox Business correspondent Grady Trimble has the details.
Employers are still hiring, though at a modest pace. The Labor Department says there were 50,000 new jobs created in December. The unemployment rate declined to 4.4%.
The job market may be cooling, but it is by no means collapsing. The economy remains healthy. The economy remains fairly strong, and so therefore it's bright skies ahead.
So which sectors are seeing gains? Bars and restaurants, what the Bureau of Labor Statistics calls food and drink places, with gains of 27,000 jobs. Healthcare and social services saw combined job gains of 38,000. Some experts say these jobs are not as likely to be replaced by automation and AI.
Many jobs are going away and may not come back. You know, the clerical data entry roles, simple customer service positions, those jobs have been replaced with automation and artificial intelligence roles. So there really has been a change in the makeup of the overall workforce.
Even during the busy shopping month of December, the retail sector lost 25,000 jobs. Another data point we're looking at, how many jobs went to native-born workers? 2 million over the last year versus 383,000 added for foreign-born workers. And we should note jobs in October and November were revised down by a combined 76,000 jobs. On Capitol Hill, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
According to November statistics from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the civil labor workforce in Alabama has remained constant, with a growth of about 0.7% or around 17,700 jobs. Birders, here's your chance to see thousands of cranes up close in the air and on the ground. We'll take you to Decatur. And while we look up, Jordan, we're expecting some rain.
Yeah, Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day continues as we head into the evening and then through the course of the overnight. Many of us are dry, still talking about rain across northeast Alabama, but additional rain is really going to begin to build in over the next few hours. We'll talk about it in just a couple of minutes.
With your certified most accurate forecast, this is a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert.
Yes, it is, because it's a Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day. You can see the ground saturated because it's been raining, and you look above, nothing but cloud cover. It's just one of those days.
It definitely is, and we're going to talk about more rain as we head into the later part of the evening. Yeah. Many of us have already seen a fair amount. How was your commute into work this afternoon?
It wasn't bad. I had to use my windshield wipers, but it wasn't swishing fast. You know, I was okay.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that uses the degree to which I have to turn up the windshield wiper speed to decide how hard it's actually raining outside. I think, to use your word, swishiness, the swishiness is going to increase exponentially as we head into the overnight. We're going to continue to talk about a concern for flooding across the Tennessee Valley, specifically across northeast Alabama, where they have seen more rain than everybody else. Across Jackson, DeKalb, and Marshall counties, portions of Morgan County, Coleman County, southern Coleman County, folks have seen anywhere between an inch to an inch and a half. Maybe across southern Coleman County, we're looking at closer to 2 or even 2.5 inches of rain. Lesser rainfall totals across the rest of the Tennessee Valley, up across southern Middle Tennessee, across northwest Alabama, along much of the I-65 corridor. Most of the folks have seen right around a half an inch of rain, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But more is definitely on the way as we head into the overnight. Totals area-wide are going to climb. Flood watch remains in effect across the entire Tennessee Valley. That's going to run until noon on Saturday. We've seen a bit of a lull in the action over the last couple of hours, but you can kind of see more is already beginning to develop across northwest Alabama, down into Franklin County there. You can see a little bit of rain beginning to develop. Rain building back up into Coleman County, southern Morgan County, southern Marshall County. We've also been talking talking about rain for the last several hours across northeast Alabama. Fort Payne's still talking about rain. They're not going to get the same break that everybody else got. The rest of us have had a break of about 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours. Our friends over in northeast Alabama haven't had much of a break at all. It has been raining since the early part of the morning, and it's going to continue to rain as we head into the overnight. There's still a lot of rain back across central and south Mississippi, northern Louisiana. All of this rain is gradually going to build to the northeast as we head into the overnight. The good news here is that there's not a lot of thunderstorm activity associated with this. At this point in the evening, the threat for any sort of severe weather is essentially non-existent. Maybe a couple of thunderstorms as we head into the overnight, but that'll be about it. And it'll be just that, a couple of rumbles of thunder. The wind might tick up for a couple of minutes, but that's about it. Our main focus is going to be the incredibly heavy rain that is going to develop across the Tennessee Valley over the next couple of hours and then continue to build as we head into the earliest part of your Saturday morning. From there, it sticks with us, not just through 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. We're still talking about heavy rain. Futurecast gets this activity out of here, though, by the time we get to the later part of the morning, early into the afternoon. Maybe a couple of little light rain showers hanging out as we head into the early part of the afternoon, but the bulk of the activity is going to be done and over with. As it stands right now, Saturday is just going to be one of those days when you want to spend a little bit of time inside until we get to the evening. Maybe you'll want to venture out for dinner because we're going to begin to see some breaks in the cloud cover. The rain's going to come to an end, but it's also going to begin to get cooler as we head into Saturday evening through the overnight and then early into your Sunday morning. That's when we really begin to lose a lot of the cloud cover. Heading out the door to Sunday services, Sunday breakfast, plenty of sunshine. We'll maintain that clear sky through the rest of the afternoon and then even as we head into the evening. Additional rain across the area, lesser amounts across northwest Alabama, southern middle Tennessee, higher amounts across portions of northeast Alabama, portions of Jackson County, Marshall County, Morgan and Coleman County. Those folks looking at another 2.5 to 3.5 locally. We could be talking about another 4 inches as rain arrives over the next few hours. Temperatures don't move much as we head into the overnight. Got a low right around 57 degrees. High temperature on Saturday going to occur during the first half of the day. Once we get beyond the lunch hour, temperatures are going to fall off somewhat quickly with the passage of that cold front. As a matter of fact, we're going to do a really good job at cooling off Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're going to start Sunday right around 36 degrees. Plenty of sunshine, but in the 30s. 42 Sunday afternoon, 47 on Monday. A sharp reminder that it is, in fact, early January. Our next opportunity for rain builds into the Tennessee Valley on Wednesday. We stick with the below average temperatures Thursday and Friday of next week.
Thank you, Jordan. The Scottsboro Boys Museum opened a new exhibit honoring Sheriff Matt Wann today, giving the public a first look at a man at the center of a pivotal civil rights moment. The exhibit unveiled Wann's personal pistol and holster, offering a tangible connection to the dangers he faced. Wann was the Jackson County Sheriff who stood between a lynch mob and 9 black teenagers falsely accused of raping 2 white women in the Scottsboro Boys case, putting his badge, his reputation, and ultimately his life on the line for justice.
I'd say the biggest thing that we can take from him is to always do the right thing, even when it's hard, even when it's risky. I mean, he didn't just put himself at risk, he put his entire family, young family at the time. My grandfather was only 11 years old, and he witnessed this. He witnessed the lynch mob that night. It's not our story, it's his story, but it is our story to continue to tell and to make sure that his legacy and the legacy of the boys that he did protect never dies.
The great-grandson you just heard there says Sheriff Wann was good, and that's different from being soft, a reminder that doing what's right often demands courage, sacrifice, and strength. A local state park is kicking off celebrations for more than 20,000 sandhill cranes making their way to the Tennessee Valley. The Wheeler Wildlife Refuge Association is once again celebrating the Festival of the Cranes. This 3-day event is filled with both indoor and outdoor activities for all bird watchers and nature lovers, including guided viewing opportunities, live entertainment, and educational programs. You can attend many events for free, including free admission to the Cook Museum tomorrow. Festival of Cranes lasts through Sunday. Nick, I hear you like a different type of crane.
Yeah, my favorite's Fraser. Probably, well, Marty's my favorite. Fraser, probably second. Niles, maybe third. All right, we'll talk a transfer portal next in sports.
Fox 54 Sports is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
The transfer portal continues to churn, and now a guy who played at a local Division I school is heading up to Tuscaloosa. Good evening, and welcome to the sports. North Alabama punter Adam Watford was one of the brightest spots on a Lions team that beat just one Division I squad in 2025. The Dothan native broke the FCS single-season record at UNA for most 50-yard punts, and he was the only punter in FCS or FBS this year to have 3 punts over 70 yards. For his efforts, he was named the UAC Coast Specialist of the Year and a second-team All-American by FCS Football Central. Now he's going to bring his talents to a bigger stage, announcing his commitment to the University of Alabama. He will be a senior next year. Meanwhile, the transfer portal exodus continues for new head coach Alex Golesh in Auburn. 2 more Tigers have entered the portal, and 1 former Tiger is committed elsewhere. That's per On 3 Sports. Wide receiver Eric Singleton Jr. and tackle Tyler Johnson are the new entries. Singleton caught 3 touchdowns in his lone season at Auburn. Johnson was a reserve player. Meanwhile, former starting offensive tackle Xavier Chaplin has committed to Florida State after submitting his name in the portal around Christmas time. In total, 36 Tigers have entered the portal. That's according to 24/7 Auburn. But the pipeline from Tampa to the Plains does continue. Auburn has reportedly picked up a commitment from South Florida wideout Keyshawn Singleton. In 2 seasons in the green and gold, Singleton racked up more than 1,200 yards and 11 touchdown catches. He's expected to be the 11th USF Bull turned Tiger. South Florida, remember, went 9-3 in Group of 5 American Conference last year. And Group of 5, but not USF. One more addition for Auburn. Offensive tackle Joseph Simmons started every game, including the college football playoff for James Madison in 2025. He's going to Auburn. The All-Sun Belt honoree, the All-Sun Belt honorable mention stands at 6'5", 322 pounds. He's the 15th player to transfer to the Plains per 24/7 Auburn. Kanisha?
Yes, Nick. Coming up tonight at 9, we'll continue our coverage of our Fox 54 Weather Impact Alert Day. We'll tell you what to expect and how to prepare. And a bill that could extend Affordable Care Act subsidies jumped through a major hoop yesterday, but how will that impact us here in the Tennessee Valley? We'll explain.
Rain gradually beginning to build back up into North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. You can see a little bit of rain developing across Colbert and Franklin counties, beginning to see some additional rain build back up into Coleman County, maybe southern Morgan County and Marshall County. It's going to first build into northeast Alabama and then kind of build into the rest of the Tennessee Valley over the next couple of hours. We're talking